Hello, everyone. I am Kathleen Nation. I will be talking about culturally responsive teaching. As educators, we have a great responsibility to teach, train, and disperse knowledge in the minds of the students in our classrooms. Our classroom consists of students who come from various cultural backgrounds, students who possess different communication styles, students with special needs, and English learners. Therefore, the instructions we give are crucial for their growth and development. I will be addressing a few questions that pertain to English learners, the environment we create, and the instructions we give. So we'll start with what are cultural influences on teaching and learning? According to Ladson Billings, culture influences teaching and learning by shaping how students communicate, interact, interpret information, and engage with classroom expectations. Students bring cultural norms, values, communication styles, and learning traditions from home. These directly affect how they respond to instructions. When teachers can understand and honor these cultural influences, they create learning environments where English learners feel safe, valued, and ready to participate. What is cultural competence and its role in the instruction? Cultural competence is a teacher's ability to understand, value, and respond to the cultural backgrounds, experiences, and communication styles of all students. In English language instruction, cultural competence helps teachers create welcoming environments, helps them build trust, helps them reduce misunderstandings, and design lessons that connect to students' cultural and linguistic strengths. How can English learners' cultural values and beliefs be integrated in teaching and learning? English learners' cultural values and beliefs can be integrated into teaching by using culturally relevant materials, connecting lessons to students' lived experiences, incorporating home languages, and designing activities that honor students' traditions, communication styles, and ways of learning. What is the role of culture in student learning? Culture plays a central role in student learning because it shapes how students think, communicate, interact, and make meaning from instruction. Students' cultural backgrounds influence their learning styles, motivation, comfort levels, and the ways they respond to classroom expectations. Now, how do school and classroom environments influence language acquisition, and what steps can be taken for an inclusive classroom? The school and classroom environments strongly influence language acquisition because English learners learn best in spaces where they feel safe, welcome, and valued, including supported. When classrooms provide visual supports, predictable routines, opportunities for interaction like class discussions, and respect for students' cultural and linguistic identities, English learners are more willing to take risks and practice language, including engage in academic activities. Creating an inclusive environment requires intentional steps such as building relationships, using culturally responsive materials, supporting home languages, and designing instruction that reduces anxiety and increases participation. You may ask, what are some strategies for supporting and celebrating cultural diversity? Within instructions, teachers can support and celebrate cultural diversity by using culturally relevant materials. We said that earlier on. Incorporating students' home languages, connecting lessons to students' lived experiences, designing collaborative learning opportunities, and intentionally representing students' cultures in the classroom. For example, teachers can host a cultural day for the students. And what are some strategies for leveraging home languages and cultural assets? Teachers can leverage home language and cultural assets by engaging translanguaging, using bilingual resources, connecting lessons to students' cultural experiences, incorporating family knowledge into instruction, and designing activities that honor students' traditions and communities. What are some strategies for responsiveness to the different strengths, needs, and identities of English learners? Teachers can respond to the diverse strengths, needs, and identities of English learners, including students with special needs, by differentiating instruction, scaffolded supports, culturally responsive practices, intentional relationship building, and individualized accommodations. Effective responsiveness includes honoring students' cultural identities, providing structured routines, and collaborating with specialists to ensure the English learners receive equitable access to learning. What are some opportunities and approaches to meet the social and emotional needs? Teachers can meet social and emotional needs of English learners by building strong relationships, creating safe and predictable environments, supporting home languages, fostering peer connection, and designing culturally responsive routines. This builds confidence in the English language. What is the importance of understanding the social, emotional, and cultural needs of students? Understanding students' social, emotional, and cultural needs is essential when establishing classroom routines and procedures, because these needs directly influence how students feel, how they behave, how they engage in their learning. And this also leads to stronger behavior, deeper engagement, and more equitable access to instruction. Now, how can the school and home practice, or how might family and community practices influence language learning? Family and community practices, known as funds of knowledge, influence language learning by providing English learners with cultural experiences, home language skills, and real world knowledge that teachers can use to make instructions meaningful. What are some strategies to build and foster strong family and school community? Teachers can build strong family, community, and school partnership by communicating consistently, sending home letters, sending emails, honoring families' cultural and linguistic backgrounds, involving families in learning, collaborating with the community, resources, and creating welcoming environments. These partnerships build strengths, build trust, and increase student engagement. What are effective family engagement practices? Effective family engagement practices include communicating with families in their home languages, providing multilingual resources, inviting families to share cultural and linguistic knowledge. For example, in having a cultural day, invite the families to come and share about their culture and their background. Offering accessible learning strategies for home use and creating welcoming school environments. What are some inclusive community engagement practices? Inclusive community engagement practices include partnering with local organizations, inviting community members into the classroom, celebrating cultural traditions, providing multilingual communication, and creating opportunities for families and community groups to contribute their cultural and linguistic knowledge. All these build strength, build trust, and help English learners feel connected to both the school and or the school community. As I did my research, I just want to give credit to the resources that helped me in finding all that helped me while I was doing my research. They are Echeverria J. and Graves A., Ladson Billings, Moll, Amanti, and Gonzalez, including Teacher Vision, Teach Hub, Understood.org, and Coloring Colorado. Thank you.